Attack me from behind and the other in the front, like the way you take down a
Hi.
deer.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming
I thought it
tonight.
was cute.
That doesn't sound right. That
We
must
will
be
call this
behind
meeting
that
to order at
14.
7:05.
It doesn't sound right.
We're fixing it. Thomas is here.
I've gotten in the habit that you guys don't speak in the microphone,
So now you want me to stay further
Just
away.
go ahead and, push it back farther away.
Oh,
And anybody notice that the audience too is getting pushed further away?
oh, that was my fault.
Why is that?
So just real quick before we actually officially start the meeting, is that it is our responsibility to come to the room and set up the chairs. And so sometimes when we all get here in advance and we do that, and it happens nicely. Sometimes we don't get here, that much in advance. And sometimes it's very kind, the gentleman who unlocks and locks the room for us at night, he'll set up the chairs. So it's always flexible. So with that, if I could ask everyone to stand, the flag is behind me. If we could do the flag salute. Tom, could you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is why I wanted you to be
Thank you.
secretary. I'm not tech. Savvy.
Now we will have our secretary read the mission statement.
Hi, Terry Barr. Is this a good distance for everyone? Okay, great. M.A.T.H mission statement. The Middletown Area Town Hall was formed to operate as a true town hall with everyone participating in voting. However, county officials required us to elect a board to conform with other county advisory committees. Our bylaws specify that the board makes decisions based on the vote of everyone present. The board encourages all members to give their opinions and vote on every matter before the assembly.
Thank you. And is there anyone that has someone that they would like us to think of or recall or something in a moment of silence? Seeing no hands, then we will just have a general moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you. So I will ask for a approval of the agenda, but before I do so, I would like to make one addition to the agenda. I neglected to add Todd from Calliope Water District to the agenda, and so I would like to do that right after the Valley Fire 10th anniversary plan discussion or talk. If that would be okay with the membership, then I would, thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. So with that, I will accept a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved with the exception, Madam Chairman, that the vote be counted by the Secretary and recorded as for the approval of the agenda.
Okay,
Show of hands.
so then we would like a show of hands for the approval of the agenda, not for the last vote, because that's already taken place. Okay, so moved. A second? A second. Thank you, Helen. All in favor?
Aye.
Secretary, do you count the?
Yeah.
Why don't you repeat that? I don't think.
Everyone, hands up if they'd like to approve. All right.
Any opposed? Seeing none, we will move on with the agenda. First up on the agenda then is public input, where anyone may speak for 3 minutes on items not on the agenda. Tom?
Good evening, Tom Lasik.
Go ahead and turn it on, Tom, I'm sorry.
Is it on? Yeah. Should I go like this? Good evening, Tom Lasik. I wanted
Back a little bit farther, yeah, there you go.
to provide an update. I attended the Big Valley Advisory Council yesterday, and Supervisor Pyska mentioned that, I don't know if it's this next coming supervisors meeting or a follow-on meeting, there will be on the agenda a discussion around Sonoma Clean Power. Now, they are a community choice aggregator of power that supports Sonoma County with the exception of Hellsburg, and also Mendocino County with the exception of Ukiah. And they are looking to entertain the idea of including into their community Lake County. There's a lot of interesting things that go on when you have a community choice aggregator, namely that the cost for electricity is lower. It is nonprofit, has a lot of transparency. There's a lot of upside on that. One thing, though, is to be aware of is that in 2022, Sonoma Clean Power approached Lake County, and at that time, they were not interested in including Lake County into their community, but they wanted the geothermal power. And that power was going to leave Lake County and go to Mendocino and Sonoma County. This time it is different in the fact that they want to include us into their community, but what I don't know and what wasn't mentioned is if there was any conversation on geothermal power. Last time they were looking to put plants around the lake using a different technology than what they use over at Calpine. So I would encourage to look on the agenda when it comes up and get informed. I think there's a lot of upside, but I don't know if the devil's in the details. So get involved, take a look at it, and if you have concerns, let the board know.
Hey, Tom, quick question. Do you know if...
There's no questions now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, Tom, we'll talk after.
So, thank you.
So everybody else has to sell it to PG&E. I was wondering why they don't. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dan Terrell. I'm representing MAMA, Middletown Area Merchants Association this evening. Just a public announcement on Tuesday night, April 29th from 5:30 till about 8 o'clock. We're doing our annual spring dinner. So spring dinner is going to be at Boston's Steakhouse up on Cobb. If you're a MAMA member, the tickets are only $46. That includes taxes and tip. Non-members, it's another $5. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a buffet-style dinner, sirloin chicken, salmon, all kinds of sides. And then the other thing that's not MAMA related is that the Rotary is reforming for South County. If you're interested at all about helping out and joining Rotary, let me know. Right now we're I don't know what you call it. We're an offshoot satellite, thank you. A satellite from Clear Lake. So we have, I believe, 12 members. And that was a really short period of time. We're going to do some scholarships for the high schoolers. And that's our first project. So if you're interested, want to help out, want to learn more about Rotary, let me know. I'll be around. What's that?
There's no questions. This is not Q&A time, but you may talk to him out in the hall later after the meeting.
You can talk to me after.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm sorry. We have to work at staying on time. Yes, Lisa.
Yes, Lisa. Hi, Lisa Kaplan from Middletown Arts Center. So today I want to tell you guys about a few things that we've got coming up. First of all, some of you may have noticed that there's a new mural in town over on the La Mixteca. And I know some of you have problems with the paint color there, but that thing will resolve itself as soon. The mural doesn't have anything to do with that, and it will go with any color that's there. Anyway, it was made by a group of youth as part of something called Elevate Youth. In partnership, we did that in partnership with Harbor on the Main and Redwood Community Services. 8 youth worked on that. They led the project. One of our artists, Ruth Richards, was there to facilitate, but it wasn't her ideas, it was theirs. It's really beautiful. You can honor their work, which is about unity in multiplicity. You can honor their work tomorrow at 7 p.m. at La Mixteca. Come and join us for an opening reception. Then on Saturday, we're opening, now check this out, guys, our 57th exhibit at Middletown Art Center. Okay, MAC is 10 years old. We opened 6 months before the fire. Thank you, and we really could use your support. We really could use community support, like show up, be a monthly member. It makes a really big difference, just $5 a month, $10 a month. Makes a big difference so that we can stay open, because I really am concerned, especially with, I'm not trying to get political here, but there are cuts happening and we've been affected by them, and so we really need our community support in order to stay open. So I hope that you will join us in supporting the arts in Lake County, because it does make a difference. Even Fletcher said so last time we were here. He talked about the water towers. Okay, so that's that. So 7 p.m. at La Mixteca to honor the youth, and it's really a gorgeous mural. 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday at the MAC is the exhibit opening. Then on April 26th, MAC partners with Earth Day with Calpine to do Earth Day at their visitor center. And so I have these little guys from 1 to 6 p.m. free to the public. If you're a vendor, there's a little place where you can use the QR code and sign up. Also, we're having an upcycle contest with real cash prizes, okay? Upcycle anything, please come. I'll leave little flyers there, take them, sign up. We really want the community to participate in this. We're trying to create something cool for the community. And then for those of you, I'm looking around with children and grandchildren, we have summer camp, MAC summer camp. We're going to be walking in the parade with giant birds and butterflies and things like that made out of paper mache, and we're going to be making those. So join us for the summer camp. All the information is on the table. Thank you very much for your attention.
Barbara Thornton from Middletown. This year, the chili cook-off is May 17th. We would appreciate everyone's support. Every penny of this fundraiser goes towards Meals on Wheels and the feeding of seniors in need in our community. Our senior center feeds about 130 people 5 days a week, plus people who cannot come to the senior center for meals. They get meals frozen given to them for the Friday and Saturday. They make sure they have meals on holidays, etc. Every penny goes for that. May 17th, be there, be square.
Can I add something? If you want to be a vendor, see me. I'm in charge of vendors this year.
Okay, I wanted to bring up, actually, I have talked to the Sonoma County
Can
Clean
you
Power.
introduce yourself,
Oh, Helen
Ms.
Owen.
Supervisor?
So we are, I have talked to them too, and this could be pretty exciting. We've asked if they would be interested in putting something on our side of the county line for revenues purposes. So that is pretty exciting. Also, just so you know, I'm going to be bringing forward, we're looking at right now, so if you guys get a survey, support it, a sales tax possibly for our county roads. We don't have the monies to be able to fix our county roads. We don't get all of the gas taxes here for various reasons. So we will be bringing that forward, I think, and to see if if there's an appetite for putting on the ballot a small, like maybe a 1 cent tax only for our roads is what we're looking for, just to improve our county roads.
I'm the other Lisa, and I have been coming to these meetings off and on for quite a while. The last few I've been watching online as they've been happening, or actually last month they pulled it so you couldn't watch it online, which I find to be a little odd. Anyway, it's all normal. But I agree with Mr. Bono here. You don't represent this county accurate, or this part of the county accurately, because there's nobody here that's poor or of a color. And we've got 20 or 30% of the people down here, 10% are poor. You're all landowners. You know, the supervisor, you know, doesn't respond when asked questions, or hasn't responded to me. You know, I find it disconcerting that you guys clapped when you successfully drove out a member of the public last meeting. It's not cool. It's not cool at all.
My name is Robert Hooper, and I totally agree with that. If you stand there and sit there and clap at one of our community person, because why? What does that show us? What does that show us? That you have no respect. No respect. We should be clapping if you guys got
Thank
up
you.
and walked out
Can
the
you,
door.
can you say your name, please, sir?
I did. Robert Hooper.
Hooper. Okay, thank you.
Hooper, not Rupert.
Thank you.
Okay, my other question to you, but I am really disappointed in all of you to do that to these people. They are part of our community. And like they said, Lisa said, you guys don't live here, you guys have a house. Some of us don't. Think about it. Okay, now the other question is, I brought this up months ago. What are we doing about our crosswalks in Middletown? I've almost been hit in the week about 5 times. I get in the middle of these people, and then I keep hearing that, it's in the works. Nothing's in the works. We don't see nothing happening. What's happening with Butts Canyon and Highway 29? It's nice to get up in the morning and watch all that traffic from Hidden Valley, and they won't let you in because they got to be somewhere. So do the people that come off of Butts Canyon. They have places to go and kids to drop off. So I brought up too, keep clear. So Butts Canyon, has that been done? That's paint. How much does it cost to paint that? And what are we gonna do about the crosswalks? Anybody in this room walked across there and almost get hit by a car, or have them just blow by you? Anybody in this room? Can I see hands?
Excuse me, this is
Okay.
not interactive, but thank you
Well,
very much. Thank you for your comments.
See,
You've been heard.
that's what I mean. You cut people off.
Yes,
And that's rude.
There's 3 minutes, sir. Yeah, there's only 3 minutes. Thank you. Yes, and that's why I'm cutting you off now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
Fletcher
Thornton.
Thornton. I've been coming to Mass since we figured out the name for it. How did we come to this? How did we get to the point that we're arguing and calling people names? How did we get to it? I don't understand. We've had fights in the town hall from day one. We always have arguments. But an argument is just, for me, just me trying to explain why I'm right. That's the definition of. So, but we shouldn't do this to each other. We shouldn't do this to each other. Nobody deserves it. If you come up and you speak and you expound your point of view, and the other people don't go along with it, you say, okay, that's the way it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you can compromise. But we can never attack each other. That serves no useful purpose. And I would implore the people that come to this to obey the rules. Don't blame it on the chairperson. When you get off subject and you start talking about something that's not proper, it's her job to stop you and keep order. If she doesn't, then I'll rise and say, point of order, Madam Chairman, get it straightened out. That's your job. So don't get mad at her for doing her job. Read the rules, know what the agenda is, know what you can say and when, and then abide by the rules. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think I'd like to address once again why people
Can you
are...
state your name, please?
Julia Bono. Why people are upset, why we have over 50 signatures on a petition. I'll remind you that the people have the right to petition their government for redress of grievances. Well, this is our grievance. We, the undersigned residents of the Middletown area, hereby demand that the Middletown Area Town Hall Board and the Lake County Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Owen, take joint and immediate action to ensure fair representation for the Middletown proper region by retaining its mandated 2 seats on the M.A.T.H board. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Laurel?
Laurel Hogan, Middletown resident. My interest is in the St. Helena Creek, and I noticed that at the St. Helena Bridge on something, there was a lot of trees, debris that had been rushed down the river and held up and starting to, get a big ball of, and it looked like it might hurt the bridge. So the county superintendent, Jim Hale, sent the team out and they said, we do care about this. What we need to do is we need to go through fish and game, or fish and wildlife, because in addition to caring about the bridge, we also really care about the fish. And it's the silver salmon, I think. I'm new here, I haven't seen them yet. I look forward to it. When they migrate up, we don't want to do anything that would disturb them. Although he did inform me that, even though he's not an expert on it, he said for sure that they the fish themselves like a rocky base on the river, rocky floor. So what I was hoping is, and I wanted to let people know, is if we could have the fish and game come talk here, because any work done on the river would need probably be done in the summer, and it's a long process. I've seen it done in other communities. If my opinion that I'd like to share from experience in other areas is that too much interfering in the creek is dangerous to the ecosystem, but I've seen it done effectively, especially after, oops, we did too much, now we need to fix this. You can use all natural reeds and everything, and what you do is, instead of having all the vegetation take over and actually turn it into a meadow, you can just keep it flowing in its state that's sustainable for us. We won't have our houses flooded and we won't lose the water. Oh, that wasn't too long. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I have one public comment to add, and that is I saw a flyer that there will be a celebration for Earth Day, April 26th. The Lake County Land Trust invites anyone and all to participate with them on a guided hike of Rabbit Hill Preserve right here in town. That will be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the flyer says there's games and prizes. So consider that also in your Earth Day celebrations. Thank you. So now I got a little off track and skipped over the meeting minutes, so I need to back up just a minute.
So moved.
Thank you. Approval of the meeting minutes. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none? You've got that recorded? Yep. Then we move on. Okay, next on the agenda is the, first off, before I proceed with this project or topic, I do want to welcome Supervisor Helen Owen here this evening, and we also have Assistant Chief Mike Wink. He's somewhere. He's hiding. Oh, there he is. So welcome, and thank you for joining us at tonight's meeting. So we also have Todd here from Calliope Water District, and he will be speaking to us shortly. But in regard to the Valley Fire 10th anniversary plans, there are currently some plans in the works, and so I thought that it would be a good time to just briefly have those that already have plans in the works share those plans with us. And then we can all see, and perhaps math can also consider, at how we can participate, or if we want to participate in some way, or be a part, or whatever we can do to join in and help. So we have Ken Gonzalez here from Harbin Hot Springs, that they have some plans, and then I would also invite Dan Terrell up to the mic as well, because I know that Mama also has some plans in the works. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, Ken.
Ken Gonzalez, Health and Safety Coordinator for the Heart Conscious Church, doing business as Harbin Hot Springs. And this item was on our agenda for the management meeting, but since it was 5 months away, we tabled it. But I can tell you this, is that Leah Jennings really wants to work with Mama and Math and coordinate our efforts with you guys. So we're very open to that for the community. But I could say that at this time, and it's in the planning stages because it's 5 months away, that Harbin is going to invite all the residents back, which we had 200 residents at the time of the fire. And they left the state, they're 95% are gone. So we invited our residents back to Harbin, and with a pass and a lot of festivities on property. But we're very open to working with Mama and Math.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan, for joining us.
Put my Mama hat back on. Sorry, getting over a cold. So Chanel Knudsen, who's Vice President of Mama, she is spearheading the Mama efforts, and the big thing with us is collaboration. So I know that she wanted to reach out with MAC and do something with MAC, along with the Gibson Museum, along with Math, and with our local fire protection district. So a lot of things are formulation right now. Formulation stages are a lot of talking and not a lot of doing. But my understanding, based on my conversations with Chanel, is that there's going to be a lot of information. There probably is going to be some sort of banquet that's possibly outside, and presentations. And I think it's going to be more of a resilience theme, as opposed to like a commemorative of the fire. And the resilience part of it is, I think, really important, especially for everybody who was there and lived through that experience. So again, if you have questions or need to talk with me about it, you want input, you can talk to me or Tara or Tanya or Ken. All the mamas in here.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mr. Wink.
Oh, you're welcome. So my name is Mike Wink. I work for CAL FIRE, and I'm also here. I've been talking with our members. Josh Lau's here this evening with the South Lake County Fire Protection District, and we're here tonight just to kind of listen to anything the community has to say. I also talked to Chanel and some other folks, just because Josh and I both live here in the community, and just want to extend the invitation that we're happy to be a part of. The fire district has been thinking about, they should do something or participate in something. Same thing with our friends at CAL FIRE. Just looking to see what the community wants to do and how we can support that, or how we can offer, whatever the community, wants to do or bring forward. So the fire district and CAL FIRE, that's one of the reasons I came tonight, and just to hear any input with Mama and Math and MAC and all the other groups that are thinking about, and I think, like Dan said, probably resiliency seems like a great theme, because there is a lot of resiliency happening. So focusing on those things would be wonderful. And so just wanted to extend the invitation that the fire district and CAL FIRE are here to help support whatever the community wants to do, and we can step in and help whatever group wants to step forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Awesome. And so with that, there is on various different topics that we have on the agenda that if anybody has any comments, or would like to add something or some thoughts, or we can put this on as an agenda item at a later date to discuss this in more detail. But you're free to come to the mic and have 2 minutes to speak to any ideas or thoughts you may have. If not, we'll move on to the next subject.
Are you taking agenda items? Is that what you meant?
No, I'm not. We're talking about the 10th anniversary.
Hi, I'm David Stoneberg, and I would certainly hope that the 10th anniversary of the Valley Fire would include remembrances of the 4 people who passed away, including Leonard Neft. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments? Lisa, you've got nothing back there?
Dan mentioned that we're
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. So then we'll move on and we'll talk about this more in future meetings. So next on the agenda, then, as you all approved, is Todd from Calliope Water District. Todd, are you ready? So, and Todd is here to tell us a little bit about some projects with Calliope Water.
Yeah, you want me there or
You can,
here?
yeah, wherever you're comfortable.
I'll go here, so if people want questions, they can go like here.
Perfect. Sounds good. Good idea.
I talk loud, so I got to get back.
That's good.
Oh, I'm good?
Yeah, you can scoot forward.
Hi, I'm Todd Fiora. I'm the general manager for Calliope Water. We serve water to around 500 customers between the church school to the Middletown Rancheria and then to the fire department off of 175 is basically our boundaries. Monica asked me to come and just kind of talk about water and answer questions that people have been seeming to have at prior meetings about possible expansion south of Middletown and various other things. I'll go over a few projects we've been working on. We put in a new well across from the Diamond D Ranch off of Big Canyon Road. It's a 1 acre property we purchased from the Heart of Consciousness Church. So it's on their property out there, or Harbin. That well, we actually got a grant, is around $2.4 million to drill the well, develop the well, build a nice pump house and plumb it to our current fill line that comes from Diamond D Ranch to our office and up to the tanks. So once we put that well online, we ended up noticing that the water, we got a lot of complaints about the water being white and having air in the water. It turned out to be methane. After we investigated it, we traced it back to the new well. Turned out to be high levels of methane, which was not a public health problem, but it was a safety, turned out to be a safety hazard, because if it accumulates, it could ignite. Possibly in our tanks up on the hill. It's happened in Lemoore. It's famous for a tank exploding there. Anyways, we just, for the last year, we've been working on an amendment to our funding agreement from the state health department, and it's a state revolving fund, and we just got another $800,000 last month. We just got the agreement finalized to put in a air stripper and remove the methane, because without the methane, the water is actually really good. So even with it, it actually tastes fine, but it's not pleasant, I guess. Yeah. So that's been in the works. Last year we teamed up with the Middletown Art Center, the Middletown Rancheria, and a few other people. Put the murals up on the tanks. I hope everybody liked those. And we also, if you guys haven't been by our office, we actually had the contractor that did the painting. We had him paint our tank next to our office, and the lady that designed the artwork for the small tank, she made us a logo, and we also had that painted on the tank next to our office. So when you get a chance, drive down Stewart Street and look at that too. Yeah, and then does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
You're talking
I think you have to go to the mic.
Oh, the mic, sorry.
Good job, Tom.
Short attention span. You're talking about extending Calliope water from the casino on south. Is that right?
Yes.
When are we going to talk about extending the water from the fire department on out 175 for all those homes that are out there?
So I've talked to a few people out there. You're the only one that's ever expressed any interest to get water out there. Everybody I've talked to out there, I mean, not tons of people, but at least 5 different people that live out there. I ask if how they do on water, because I know they're on wells, and if they think any of them or the neighbors would be interested in getting water out there, and they always say no.
Just for clarification, are we talking about the 1 acre lots?
Yeah, the Napa, Santa
Those-
Rosa,
there's 5
and all
acre
those
lots out there
streets.
also.
Yeah, they're 1.5, yeah, but they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we end right before the bridge. That area is in our sphere of influence,
Yeah.
but it would have to be annexed in. But people would actually want or need to want hookups for us to put infrastructure out there, and it would have to be funded somehow, whether it's a grant fund or if the area, got together and got some sort of a bond or something. So,
Does the water district have a surplus of water now?
yes,
Enough to take care of all of South County?
yes.
Okay. And it won't have any effect on the rates that all are already hooked up?
No, it
So
shouldn't.
the cost of putting water out there would be borne by some kind of a grant or?
Yes, so like we spend our ratepayers' money, so we can't just say, hey, we're gonna do a mainline extension. We don't have the millions of dollars that would take for one, but we can't just fund a project like that. It would have to be a grant, or the community would have to get a bond to fund it. Basically get a loan, and then people would pay back in their taxes, similar to like the school.
School,
does
fire
bonds all the
department,
time.
special
Yeah.
districts.
We currently have a bond that we're paying for the big tank. I believe it's the big tank up on the hill. We only have I think it's like $40,000 left on that bond, but we've been paying since the late 90s or early 2000s or so. Yeah.
Well, I always think it's a good idea to give everybody municipal water if we can, but not at the cost of raising the rates here in town or in the existing ratepayers, because they're tough enough as it is. As to not furnishing water out there, I can tell you, I know 5 property owners that they all have shallow wells, what we call shallow wells. None of them are deep wells. They're all shallow wells. And every summer, some of them run out of water. You can see them hauling water back and forth from your pump there by the school. So, at some point, we may have to put the lines in and encourage them to get rid of the wells and hook up to municipal.
Yeah, so I haven't seen anybody from that direction come and get water. But, I mean, I don't know every single person that comes to get water from us. But, yeah, usually it's south of Middletown, and a lot of them have expressed interest in
I know.
getting
And there's a
infrastructure
lot of
out there.
land out there. If they had water, it would be much better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Tanya Streetic, and I live in Middletown at the south end of Washington Street. I was just curious, am I the only one who got the phone call that the computer had been glitching and that I owe an extra $630 on my water bill? And I talked to him, I go, okay, well, can I make it payments make it down to 3 payments? Am I gonna get charged for a service charge? They said, oh no, well, I got charged for a service charge. So I'm just putting that out there. Am I the only one who, because I just asked Louis if he'd gotten some type of notice like that.
Yeah, I'll look at your account specifically tomorrow.
316.
Yeah, and then yeah, I'll see what's going on. So we just got a way better. Bear with me. We upgraded our billing software, so they transferred all the data from our old one to the new one, and things did get mixed up, and that happens, and we're doing our best to work out all of that. And yeah, we had our first billing last month from that software, and we had a few people that had $30,000 bills that shouldn't have. It should have been $60 or whatever, but I mean, things did definitely get mixed up, and then people didn't get bills because their phone numbers were in their billing address, and which we caught a lot of them, but we're human, and a couple got by us, so we're definitely working all that out.
Okay, so I mean, if I owe it, I owe it, but I wanted to do it in 3 payments, and I was told I wouldn't get charged the $15 service charge for not paying the entire bill all at once.
Is there somebody she can talk to at Calliope?
Yeah, I mean, if you talk, it sounds like you already talked to one of our secretaries.
She called me to say, hey, I'm going to let you know you're going to get a $700 water bill this month.
Okay, Tanya, I'm going to close this down because you guys can talk.
Anyway, I was just wondering if anybody else had suffered computer glitches, and now you guys
well,
are
as Todd just explained, that yes, there have been a few computer glitches. Yes,
Okay.
Charlie.
Yeah. What is going to be your source in the south? I know we kind of had our little conversation, we were walking, but people need to know if you're going to be pulling it out of the trailer park and sending it this direction rather than pulling water from that direction.
Yeah, so we would definitely not pull it from the trailer park, which you're referring to Lazy S Mobile Ranch. In December of 2022, I put in a grant application for planning funds to basically do a feasibility study to see who or how many people would want to hook up south of Middletown, and see what it would take, and then prepare some plans, and then pursue funding from there. And that was through the state revolving fund, where they have a cap of, they would give us $500,000 to do all that, ultimately ending with plans. So we would be able to provide the water from Middletown, but the thing is once you get to the casino, the water pressure by the casino is around a little over 30 psi. The elevation goes up higher, or goes up as you go south of Middletown. So that would have to be a separate zone. So when I did my kind of preliminary investigating, so I was thinking we would look for a well past Lazy S Mobile Ranch, because I've looked at every well log on the state resource department's web portal, where they have all the well logs. They have most of them. They don't have every one, but there's pretty much no water from the casino to Lazy S. But once you get past the Lazy S Mobile Ranch and you go up in the hills,
there's a lot of water. And
there's
Lazy
water
S
up
during
there.
the last drought they dammed up the water, and we had to have the sheriff and the Fish and Game come out there and undam it. It's never gone dry where I'm at until Lazy S started damming water.
Yeah.
So there's this doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And if you're talking about a cistern, you're going to pull from one cistern and drain all the other cisterns, and then make them buy back the same water they have the rights to have, and kill the environment.
Yeah, it
makes
wouldn't
no
work
sense.
like that, and I would avoid pulling water from St. Helena Creek because then you're dealing with surface water, way more complicated, way more expensive. So,
Well, Santa Helena Creek's going to be affected, and we can track the water flows, and we can find out if you're doing it, even if you say you're not. Okay, and then it's going to make a whole lot of litigation. What I'd like to see is a real well, someplace 300 feet deep, far away from that creek, that you ship water down to the people who need it.
so what I looked into was actually across the highway, way up. I forget what the road is. Right across from Lazy S Mobile Ranch. You go up in the hill a little ways. I seen that there's well logs where people were getting 200 to 400 gallons a minute. Other than that, I see nothing. But that's if we pursued a water source out there.
Go through the records of Middletown on Hildebrand Road, not Hildebrand Drive. On Hildebrand Road, Middletown used to get its water on Hildebrand Road. There is a mine shaft that's full of water that you can use to feed the people on the other side of the highway. Okay?
Yeah, so that would all be, like I said, studied, and if people have a problem with it, they could always petition it, whatever we would decide to develop out there. But the thing is it's for the community south of Middletown that's running out of water, which we provide water to.
You're killing the people. You're killing the people downstream. The whole community is going to fight if you take water from upstream.
Okay.
You got to have it from a well. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And it's not even legal.
All right, any other questions for Todd?
Need a drink?
Okay. Todd, do you have any closing comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate, a lot of people expressed interest in us expanding south of Middletown, especially during the drought. And in 2022, which was the last bad year of the drought, then even Lazy S Mobile Ranch almost came to the point where they were going to have to get water from us as well. The thing is, I mean, I think it's actually a good thing. We've had a lot of people that want it, and we have the water board that's very supportive of it, and it's not, there's no greed or anything involved in that. I mean, we're a nonprofit or anything. It's actually just out of, the goodness of their hearts that they're like, hey, they're part of our community. And like I said, it would take the community wanting it out there. We would need hookups to use the water that we would provide them. And just from what I see, it seems like it'd be a benefit to them. And then you also get all I just thought of it with the CAL FIRE jacket, but you get all the fire infrastructure out there as well, where you'd have hydrants and, fire protection, and it'll help people's insurance, theoretically, because, insurance is crazy. So, yeah, a lot of benefits.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You have a question?
Hi, my name's Bert Renate. I live on Hildebrand Road.
Hi.
And my question is, with the water coming out of St. Helena Creek, is there a way to keep the people upstream from us from damming it up? Is that strictly just Fish and Game and the Sheriff's Department? Or is that the Water District have something to do with that?
So our jurisdiction ends at the casino.
Okay.
So I just, but what I know, or just the little bit I do know about that, is it would be Fish and Game. That'd be a Fish and Game thing. I know the trailer park, Lazy S, they had a problem with people damming the creek upstream from them, and they'd call Fish and Game, and they would, I'm not sure what they would do. I assume they would undam it, but.
Well, when we had the drought
a
couple years ago, my son and I, we hiked all the way up the stream, and we broke little dams up so that the water would flow. And I mean, we spent all day out in the hot weather doing it. And it was not easy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, too, you got to think as well as it's very common for people to build dams in the creeks to make little swimming holes, and that is a trailer park with. They have when they're full, it's 21 trailers, I believe. So there's a lot of people there. I mean, some are camping kind of, and they might just go play in the creek and build dams. And then also you got the occasional people trying to grow pot and stuff. I know there's some of that, and that's very common. And that happens.
Yeah, well, they can truck their water in.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
So basically, what we have to do is we have to go up to the county. And
I think it'd be Fish and Game, and maybe code enforcement. Yeah, maybe they'll help. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me answer that question you just had. Legally, you can't dam anything up, period, okay? And it's private property. Every one of us has private properties. So if the trailer park is having swimming holes, okay, they can't do it. And if you're not going to get any justice from Lake County, because Lake County wants to look the other way, look to Solano County, because they will monitor the flows and they'll go with it. I'm telling you, we had 14 inches of rain one year and we had a full creek. The next time we get 28 inches and it's a world crisis and everybody has no water. And when we finally got to figuring out who the hell was taking the water, it was Lazy S. Now Lazy S is like, oh, we have no water. We want to start a water company.
But
this makes no sense.
But Charlie, this isn't a Calliope issue.
Okay, but he worked for Lazy S.
Okay.
So
I had nothing to
But he
do with
works
any
for
of that.
Calliope Water
he used to
District
work
now?
for Lazy S. Okay, so let's not make things up, Monica.
Oh, I'm not making things up, but he's working for Calliope, and Calliope is the item on the agenda
Okay.
today. Okay, it's not.
right.
It's not the park. So, okay. So Todd, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we will have you back another time.
Right, and then I left cards on
Thank
the
you.
back table. Anybody feel free to call or shoot me an email if you have any questions or you want anything. So
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that. Okay, so next on the agenda is the Middletown area project updates. And as you know, in the past, the county has been supplying us and other municipal advisory councils with a list of projects that are coming up. And so, hello, everyone? Excuse me, if you do have a conversation other than this meeting, if you could take it outside, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, the county does send us a list of projects. So there are a number of projects on this list. One that I wanted to point out real quickly before we move on to the projects that are named here is that there is a project for South Lake County Fire District, Fire Resiliency Project. It affects Hidden Valley and various other areas within the South Lake County fire protection boundaries. The status is currently in review with CDD, and what that is maintenance of existing roads and fire breaks around Hidden Valley Lake and district boundaries. Since we do have Chief Wink here, I don't know if you have any comments on that or whether we should just move on, but I thought this was good, of course, as we approach fire season, to know that this type of project is underway. Thank you.
So yeah, your leadership at the South Lake County Fire Protection District and CAL FIRE, we're always looking at opportunities to try and do more. And one of the first things we have to do is get permission to do more. While it seems intuitive, like, oh yeah, just go do that, it's the right thing, we still have to get permission. So the fire district specifically has partnered with the county to ask the county to get a permit, to basically a grading permit and a permit to cut brush to some of the historic dozer lines from 2015 to current have been identified on a map so that we could try to keep those, maybe not opened all the way up, but keep them drivable in case of another emergency or another need to get to a remote area within the South County area. So it's mostly within the South Lake County Fire Protection District, Middletown area, south of Middletown, Harbin area, Hidden Valley area, kind of those more populated areas is what we're looking at. So we submitted the application to the county. That's why it said it's currently in the review status. We are partnering with the county. They've asked for some more information to give to the folks within their process. So we're working on providing, with Josh and myself and other members of the team, providing more information. We're hopeful to get a permit from the county to do that activity, and then we still have to get individual property owner permission. So if you were a property owner that had this on your property in the past, we would ask, every individual property owner has to give permission to allow this activity to happen. And if somebody says no, it's their private property, then the answer is no. And if some people say yes, and we get permission from the county, then we will look at opportunities to do that. So it's fuels reduction, fire roads, and fire breaks is kind of the big picture item. So thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. And thank you for doing that. So some other projects that are on the list are Bellwood Motel in Loch Lomond, Middletown. So that's under final review stage. Rancho Lake Cannabis Project is also coming up. I think some of you may recall that's we've had some folks come and speak on that project in the past. There are also several cannabis projects over in the Jerusalem Grade area, the Jerusalem Valley area. That's the Pink House, Gaston Ag, and Blossom Technologies in Davis Farm. No, Blossom Technologies, I'm sorry, is on Caleomi Road. Davis Farm is in Jerusalem Valley. So with that, I also noticed that, well, first we'll go to Nina Starr, but I do notice that there are several people here in the room that are associated with a couple of the projects that are listed here, and I will invite you up if you would like to speak for 3 minutes in just a few moments. And if you care, if that's the reason why you're here, is to shed a little light on the project that you might be involved with. So first off, we have the Nina Starr project, and I know Beth is here in the audience. She's been very involved, and Nanette on our board. Nanette, I'll hand it to you since you have a mic in front of you. Do you want to say anything give an update to the group about that project?
Sure. We went to the Planning Commission in December, and we got the, what's it called? Permit application denied. Now,
if you could just keep it to the most recent hearing.
Okay. Our stand, so we went to a hearing April 5th. What was the date? Our standing was not against cannabis, it was against water south of town because we have no water. And they were proposing this massive grow with no water. The only water source was basically the creek, and we're already fighting about the creek and how much people don't have. So we were able to convince 4 supervisors to disapprove of it, and so we won. Now, there are 2 other properties, so that may come up again. But again, our stance is not about cannabis. We're not against that. We're just against, if there's not enough water, then how can you substantiate having a grow? So we were successful.
Thank you.
And it was everybody there.
Okay. So there is another project that is on the list, which is an application for a private campground. The applicant is Shannon Sanders, who I know is in the room. So Shannon, did you want to come up and say a few words about it? Or thank you.
How can you have a campground next to
My name is Shannon Sanders from Middletown.
How can you have a campground?
I have an application for a. That's better.
Yeah, we don't want you to get a back.
I can stand again. It's kind of a unique proposal that I'm doing. I currently have a major use permit for a cannabis grow operation, and it's actually it has 4290 roadways, 3-phase power. It's pretty sophisticated. But what I'm proposing is to, which is even the planning department said you don't have to do that, But what I'd like to do is eliminate my permit, major use permit, and in exchange, get a permit to do a campground, which I call the Hidden Motor Coach Resort. It has a 4,000 square foot building, which is actually very nice, air conditioned, which would provide a lot of amenities for folks, even construction crews and whatnot. So it's a little different in the fact that the CEQA footprint isn't affected. It's on the same exact location. And water usage actually goes down. So it's got a lot of benefits. It's a little unorthodox for somebody to do that, but I think it's a good fit for me personally. That's kind of why I'm doing it. And it would be great for the community because the planning department was very, very much like the idea, which was very encouraging. So that's
Can you explain where Rancho Lake is? Some of us have no idea.
Oh, well, no, this is actually about 3 minutes away from the Maha project.
Okay.
So it's on Butts Canyon.
Okay.
It's approximately 1,400 feet from the roadway, hence the name Hidden Motor Coach Resort, because if we all stood on Butts Canyon and looked, we wouldn't even see it. In fact, the footprint of the camping footprint is actually less than the current footprint I have of greenhouses. So it's
How many acres is it?
It's a 20.01.
Okay.
And I went through detailed CEQA.
Zoning allowed?
What's that?
Is the zoning allowed?
The zoning does allow that. Yeah, it does allow that. It already passed the preliminary phase where they talked to the different, like the fire department, the whatnot. It meets all the criteria. So it's pretty exciting and a little scary too.
How many spaces?
We're working with the architect on that. My goal is just to use the same CEQA footprint that I already have for cannabis. So
Will the cannabis be eliminated then?
cannabis will be gone, which everyone thinks that's kind of crazy, but I feel okay about that. I know, even Fletcher thinks so. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. So the project is on rural lands, scenic combining district, 20 acres, so, as he said, so. And for this project or any other projects also, and again, we're kind of throwing these out there so that if there's any project that this body wants to explore more, or if, as an individual, if you want to explore more about it, if you have trouble finding the information on it, then you can shoot an email to the M.A.T.H email to our secretary, and between Tara and I will do our best to get the information to you or put you in contact with whoever you would like to, whoever you should speak to find out more about that project. So do you guys in the back want to come up and talk about things you guys have going on, or? There.
I don't have any update. Nothing has changed with ours recently.
Okay, so everybody good?
We're really here for the Caltrans update. But
Okay, perfect.
We are in the county works now, so we will be here in the future.
Okay.
But we're in the queue.
And for those folks that don't know, these are the brands that are in the back of the room, and they are working on a project downtown Middletown that is in somewhat early stage right now, but as they just stated that they'll bring us back more information as that gets a little bit closer. So then we have the Gwinoc project. That is currently the partial revised EIR is out for review, and that review period will end May 2nd. So again, if anybody wants to take a look at that, you should do so before May 2nd. Middletown area plan update. There is nothing to update on that at this particular time. So with that, I will open it up to public. If you have any comments on any of these projects, please come up to the mic. And again, at this, as with any topic, you have 2 minutes to share your thoughts on that particular item on the agenda. Hi, Margot.
Hello, Math. Margot Kambara, General Plan and Advisory Committee member. I wanted to comment on your agenda item on local area plan updates. Right now, there's a lull in activity. The consultants are working on the draft. Oh, thank you. They're working on the draft. So this doesn't mean that all work stops. I encourage you to take a look at your current local area plan because it has great stuff in it. But there are also some things in it that you might want to change or just delete. One of the things that you would might want to take a look at or consider is that prosperity and conservation can coexist. When the general plan update started, there were 2 community surveys done, and the survey revealed that throughout the county, residents value the open spaces, the rural nature, the small town feel that we have in the county, and your local area plan says the same thing. So part of that is protecting trees. Right now, your local area plan says up to 40% of trees can be removed. You might want to reconsider that because the Board of Supervisors since 2022, every month, has been renewing an emergency proclamation on tree mortality. So our trees, especially the oak trees, are being devastated by drought and by pests that are coming from outside the county. So it doesn't make sense to get rid or to clear cut healthy trees. So I urge you to consider that. Also, the General Plan Advisory Committee this year has a theme that is supported by your general plan today, and that is conserving agricultural lands. Right now, there's a lot of pressure to develop agricultural lands or subdivide it into smaller parcels. So there is strong support within the General Plan Advisory Committee to stand with Middletown Area Plan writers that yes, we want to preserve that rural nature and the open spaces of Lake County. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else have some comments? Lisa, you have to go to the mic.
No, I just have a question.
This is Lisa Kaplan coming to the mic. I'll get you started.
I just want to know what the downtown Middletown project is that you mentioned. Didn't you mention some project, downtown Middletown project, that these people are here for the downtown Middletown project?
They're not here for the downtown. They will be here later as far as when they have something to present.
I just want to know what it is.
So I don't know exactly what it is yet. When they're ready to present, they'll present, but it's downtown.
It sounds ominous.
It's downtown Middletown, the fence where the old place next to Beulah's. Okay?
Oh, it's
so it's that developing.
It's a thing.
Yes, it's a thing.
Business.
Yes.
It's not like a design thing.
Yeah, okay. Are you feel okay now? I'm sorry for the mystery surrounding that, but, so yes.
Julia Bono. Yes, I was just wondering if you could shed any clarity on the MAHA project and whether there was any plans to continue to put a very large settlement in the downtown Middletown area over by the creek. Do you know if that's still in the works?
Yes, that is still the Middletown, or the MAHA project is still basically the MAHA project as presented before. That includes the development out at Gwinnett and also a planned workforce housing location in Middletown and a couple of other things in Middletown.
So since we only have until May 2nd, perhaps we should think about putting a statement opposing that workforce project.
The statements currently are on the partially revised EIR review. So if you want to look through that review, and if you can pinpoint anything that this body should be concerned about, then you could bring that up to this body and the body. But at this point, that no, you can't just like randomly throw something out there. It has to be something specific to the EIR.
Well, it's April, and the next meeting won't be until after the review period has gone. This is an emergency.
It might be, might not. So, thank you.
Fletcher Thornton. They have been working on MAHA for something like 7 or 8 years with the project that was referred to in the works. It has been approved, and we keep talking about needing housing in Middletown. Have you ever tried to find a house in Middletown? Very difficult. So this project has been approved, and 2 months before it's to be gone through and finished, we just simply cannot bring it up again. Our comments would be limited to the revised EIR and not things that have already been approved.
Well, and to that point, this body has already submitted a letter. So no further comments on projects. I'm going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is a math board alternate election appointment. So with the alternates, as you all know, Lisa resigned from the board, and so we moved up alternate number 1, which is Tara. Thank you very much for agreeing to join our board and also serving as secretary. Everybody, good job. And to that point too, now as secretary, it is a big job, and there are, as we're learning in the transition, there are a number of things that we needed to pass on. Various different members of our board needed to pass on things to Tara. And one of the things that we neglected to do was the blind CC on the agenda. So we do, just please bear with us and stuff. That won't happen again. But when we send out the agenda, it goes out to a blind CC so that everybody's email addresses are not exposed. So we do apologize for that, but we'll get it right down the line in the future. So now back to the alternate. So we theoretically have as the alternates, we have Pat Roy, who is here with us in the audience today. So is an alternate, and as our bylaws state, that the alternates shall be elected after the election of the math board is completed. If there are nominees over and above the elected 5, that the next 2 with the highest vote getters may be elected to the 2 alternate seats. So we have Pat, and then following our election, the next highest vote getter was Dan Terrell. Dan, are you still with us here? Yes, there's a hand. Okay. And so I would propose to this body that we officially elect Dan Terrell to fill that second alternate seat. And with that, I would accept discussion or a motion.
A motion, I make a motion to approve.
Where's Pat?
Okay.
Is Pat, you said Pat's here?
Wait, so we have a motion on the floor. That was Fletcher Thornton that made a motion.
I'll second
to
approve the recommendation of the board.
Okay, and we have a second.
I will second.
Okay, thank you.
Discuss first.
Yes, we can have discussion.
And Pat, you don't want to do it?
No, she is. She
No,
is already.
Pat is.
She's
Okay.
official.
Pat is an
Okay,
alternate.
good.
Pat is an alternate.
Yeah.
Dan
She's
would
the
be the
first
second alternate.
Okay.
Yes.
Once again, I would like to reiterate that there is a large body of people living in the core community of Middletown who wish this math board to take joint and immediate action along with the Lake County Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Owen, to ensure fair representation for the Middletown proper region. I don't see, once again, that is being taken into account here in these nominations. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes?
Dan lives in town.
We've talked about this before, and that's the Middletown proper. I've lived in Middletown for many, many years. I've lived on 175. I had a Middletown address. I've lived on Butts Canyon. I had a Middletown address. I lived right next door to the chairperson, and I had a Middletown address. I lived next door to the supervisor. I still had a Middletown address. I have never lived next to the casino or to the pizza parlor, the post office, or anything. And I'll tell you why I get a Middletown address. Because Middletown is not a town. It's an area within the South County. And that's what we wanted to stay. If we wanted to be incorporated, we could do that, but you know what goes along with that. So I object to the term proper Middletown. There is no Middletown proper. There's Middletown area, and it encompasses everybody within this South County district, with the exception of the Cobb people and Hidden Valley. And they were given an opportunity to come in. They wanted their own. That's fine. But there is no Middletown proper. She's from Middletown, and she lives out here. He's from Middletown, and he lives way south.
So do I.
So do you. So we should get rid of that notion that there is a Middletown proper.
What
There is not.
What were you thinking when you wrote that, though?
But wait. But according to the bylaws that were written, as far as I'm giving the definition of Middletown boundary, I am in the Middletown boundary, and so is Pat Roy. There's two people that fall into that boundary according to the bylaws before we began to revise them.
But they're not sitting on the board.
Wait a minute. Do I have the microphone?
Excuse me, yes.
Okay. The problem with that is that we've changed the bylaws to include the whole area.
Yes.
And so that
Yes, we are.
concept of Middletown proper is still out the window.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Should we take a show of hands? If you wouldn't mind. Okay. Hold them up for just a sec. Practice weights.
All right.
Okay, any opposed?
Opposed. Middletown needs its representation.
Okay, excuse me. Thank you. There's
Downtown
three.
Middletown needs
There.
representation.
Thank you. We heard you the first time.
Okay, I'll say it again. Downtown Middletown needs representation.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit tired of that, Julia. Thank you very much.
I realize that.
So we will move on. Let's see. So we have voted, Dan. You are now an alternate of the math board. And Pat, and you need to go to the mic, the hand that's up.
Lisa.
So the two of you, Pat, because I think that the county may have lost the information, but also anybody who applies to be on the board and applies to be an alternate is not official until you submit the form to the county, the advisory committee form. So, and I do apologize because I meant to have one here with me tonight to hand to you to do, but it is also online and very easy to do online and to submit to Wendy Hoffman, the administrative assistant with the County of Lake.
Well,
Thank you.
it kind of doesn't matter anymore, but it would be nice for people to know, like, what does it mean if you're an alternate? Because actually, shouldn't somebody be sitting up there?
We have a forum, but
So if there's no quorum, then you have an alternate, right?
Right.
An alternate sits. Anything else besides, like, if somebody steps down, then an alternate sits in? Anything else steps in?
Yeah.
Because people should know, like, what
But
it
I
means.
think we went through all these details during the election.
It's okay. Apparently, we need to reiterate them, but the people.
Article 4, paragraph.
Yes. I'm just saying, apparently
Thank
it
you.
needs to be reiterated.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Dan and Pat, as alternates to the board. So, yes, we do have a vacant seat up here. Bill Waite, I believe, is having some minor surgery and was unable to be here with us this evening, but he will be back. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is we have the bylaws revision. And I do have to explain with the bylaws that it became a little bit more, we initially, the last time we reviewed these at our last meeting, we discussed a few minor changes. There were a few more minor/major changes that were made to the bylaws at the recommendation of County Council because of some challenges that we have had here as a body. So that's the bylaws that were sent out to you for review that now include a complete page also on meeting decorum. And that is basically the extent of the major addition or changes. Other than that, they were more of the minor changes in cleaning up the bylaws as presented to you at the last meeting. And the way this would proceed at this point is if we get a consensus approval this evening or any comments for any changes that would be voted on by this body to make any additional changes to the bylaws or recommendations, we would vote on the bylaws officially at our next meeting and then send them to the county, to the Board of Supervisors for them to put on their agenda sometime in May to officially approve them, and then we're done with bylaws for the year. So with that, I would entertain any comments or a motion of consensus.
Comments?
Yes?
I'd like to make a formal objection to the proposed changes to Article 7, meeting decorum in the M.A.T.H bylaws. While this is ostensibly intended to maintain order, these changes seriously risk infringing on individuals' rights to free speech, protest, and meaningful participation in public meetings. Provisions like categorizing, quote, refusing to leave the microphone after speaking time expires, or, quote, insisting on addressing matters not relevant to the agenda as disruptive behavior alongside true threats of violence are troubling. Ambiguity in these definitions also enables discretionary misuse, especially given Chair Monica Rosenthal's history of cutting off speakers even when presenting agenda-relevant petitions. Criticism of the Assembly is noted as not disrupted in the revision, yet vague definitions in the revised bylaws contradict this assurance. Such efforts to limit community engagement undermine trust, transparency, and democratic principles essential to public governance. A recent troubling example includes the dismissal of Middletown's petition addressing concerns over lack of representation on the Town Hall's board, and an associated complaint which raised serious Brown Act issues. This petition, supported by many community members, highlights ongoing representation, transparency, and accountability problems within the M.A.T.H board. I urge the M.A.T.H board and council to revise
Thank you very much. Your 2 minutes is up. Thank you.
See what I mean? Okay.
Charlie?
Okay, gotcha. Cut off again.
2 minutes.
For the record,
2 minutes on topics on the agenda.
for the record, I offered to give back the money last week that she spent on a certified letter, and she told me to F off. So, but at the same time, I forgive. People are going to do things. This is Monica has a terrible job. I mean, there is a lot of insults, but at the same time, we can't be so domineering as we can't vent, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of heartache, and a lot of pain. I don't think anybody has seen more of that than Fletcher, because Fletcher, I love the guy, but he can accidentally piss off a rock. We have to be tolerant to each other, okay? And that's just really how it is, because we're going to get into, we're going to have to walk around this town. We're going to have to be here forever. So I would like to say that this won't solve the problem, and I don't think we should enforce it to the letter of the law unless somebody is, is physically violent. But at the same time, please, let's not spend any more time on bylaws. Let's fix roads. Let's fix water. Let's discuss things that we can do to change the course of human events and make this a better place for our kids.
Yes.
Okay? So please, all right, let's just stop the nonsense, okay? All right, that's all I got.
Yes. Thank you.
Fletcher Thornton, I just have a comment on procedure. Section 2, paragraph 1. It says grievances are to be put in writing. In the past, and down on paragraph 4, it does say that it should be certified letter. I think we ought to include certified letter on all notices relative to grievances, so that we don't get into a contest. I sent it, no I didn't, yes you did, no I didn't, and so on. It's paragraph 1 of section 2, grievance. Make it person in writing, chairperson in writing, and it should be by certified mail. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you, Fletcher. Yes, Carlos.
Is this in relation to the
Bylaws. We're on the bylaws. Thanks for
Okay.
following.
On behalf of myself and the 54 signatories of the petition to retain Middletown proper two-seat representation on the M.A.T.H board, I'm writing to formally express our collective and strong opposition to the proposed complete removal of Middletown proper's guaranteed representation. I heard what Fletcher said, but the Middletown proper is from the language in the bylaws. So there's a certain Middletown proper, which is the actual town, and then there's the surrounding area. I really think you should name this the South Lake County Fire District Advisory Board instead of a town hall meeting. There's no point in considering it a town hall when there's no town to represent. Anyway,
Fair enough.
I object to the proposed bylaws revision in section G, grievance, which seeks to exclude complainants from participating in or appearing before the committee reviewing their complaint. Such a policy is fundamentally unjust and lacks transparency, so it contradicts the principles of the Brown Act under which M.A.T.H should operate. Complainants possess essential knowledge of the issues at hand, so their exclusion from committee deliberations undermines the fairness and integrity of the review process. Lastly, I urge that you and the board refrain from erroneously referring to the M.A.T.H board as an executive board, since executive authority in this body explicitly
If you can
rests
wrap
with
up,
the attendant
please.
meeting members, not the board.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you very much. So, do we have a consensus from this body to adopt the bylaws, perhaps with a couple major or minor changes?
Do you need a motion?
I basically want to see a show of consensus. We're not doing a motion, we are doing a show of consensus of whether we're moving this forward to the next meeting for voting on. At that time, we would take a motion to approve the bylaws. So for now, I'm just looking for a show of hands of the consensus to accept the bylaws as they are, or moving forward with a couple minor changes. So I'm seeing a show of hands that clearly shows a majority in the room, including my own.
No.
All right, thank you. Those opposed to or not complying? Okay, thank you. There are 2. Okay, maybe 3.
54 people decided.
So we are moving on to the next item. We'll bring the bylaws back to you. And now we're on to the discussion that I think many are here for, is the Caltrans Safety Improvement Project and surrounding areas. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed over correspondence.
Okay.
I'm trying to move on towards the end of the meeting.
Terry Barra, we received just a handful of email correspondence. So the opposition from Julia Bono for the edits to the bylaws and, the expressed grievances here. And let's see, we already covered the projects,
Yes.
so I don't have to cover that. And then the luncheon club at the senior center sent over that they have lunch being served on the 16th at noon.
And a speaker.
And Luke Bingingham, Sheriff Luke Bingingham will be speaking at the Middletown Luncheon Club on the 16th. Bingham. Thank you. So, no, next week.
No, next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. And I'd also like to, I'd like to add that if anybody sends an email of any length, that's not just logistical, like where is the meeting or when is the meeting, or what time does it start. But if the secretary or I receive an email from anybody of any great length that actually is going into detail in a project or a viewpoint, we don't respond. So because all business is held here in public in front of this body. So if we receive such an email, then this is exactly what happens, is the secretary would just report that such an email was received. And discussion happens here. Okay? Any other correspondence?
No, that was it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move on unless somebody has questions or comments on correspondence. Okay, thank you. So to the Downtown Caltrans Safety Improvement Project and surrounding areas. This is a discussion that folks wanted to have, and I know Linda Dildarms wanted to be part of this discussion, but I don't see her here with us this evening. Anybody else have comments? I'm going to, just openly admit that this is not something that I voted for to be on the agenda, but there was a number of people that wanted it on the agenda, so therefore we put it on there. So I'm welcome to have somebody else lead the discussion or talk about concerns or questions, or let's discuss if.
So I wasn't here at the last meeting, and I haven't made.
Introduce yourself, please.
Tanya Streetick, Middletown. That I would say, obviously, we're very concerned about our crosswalks. I think one of the things that could help with that, but you never know. I do not like the fact that they don't slow traffic down sooner before you get into town. That's a real issue.
Can I interrupt for just a moment?
Yes.
Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to actually have this discussion, because Caltrans is putting together a plan to work on just those items. So they are currently working on that plan, and in fact, that's what I was going to announce. Izzy just contacted me again today to let me know that they are looking at scheduling a meeting June, July, or August. They are hoping to have things ready by June. So what I was hoping is that we would hear out their presentation, or at least get a copy of their plans as they complete them, so we have something to look at so we know what we're discussing. But yes, their plan includes traffic calming. It is a public safety grant that the project affecting downtown Middletown that will apply to that area, and there will be changes made in the downtown area, including new sidewalks and better lighting at our crosswalk improvements, but bulb outs, various different traffic calming measures that, in my opinion, more people with more expertise in that field have taken a look at our downtown area. And that's what they're bringing to Middletown. And they do want to bring that presentation to this body to get comments before they finalize it and move forward.
So any comments we make today are just for no reason, you mean?
Well, I don't know that they're for no reason, but it's just that they're not, we don't have the plan to be able to apply your comment to, so I can say to you that yes, they are looking at improving crosswalks. Yes, they are looking at slowing traffic coming into town. Yes, they are looking at better lighting for our downtown area.
Do you know if they're looking at a left-hand turn lane on 175 headed north? Do you know if they're looking at a left-hand turn lane on 29 to 175 northbound?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to add to the comment that I did print out over on the little welcome table over there. There's a QR code that you can scan, and you can actually input some suggestions yourself to put things onto the area plan.
Is that, I'm sorry.
It's the transportation.
Yeah, but that's different.
Oh, that's a different thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, different thing.
She has a point. That's why she doesn't give up.
So,
That's my point.
so I don't mean to cut off any conversation on this, but I just, you know, if you have concerns or ideas, yes, I would, you know, share them. You know, or if you want to discuss on what you want to see in downtown Middletown. But, you know, based on, you know, that what Caltrans is, like I said, they're putting together a plan. So I'm just kind of caught in this, you know, are we cart before the horse, horse before the cart? They came before, so Caltrans did come here before. We had some discussion. They heard our comments then, and that's what they're implementing into the plan. So to some degree, along with their grant money.
I don't believe that for a second. I believe you believe it, but I don't believe it for a second. I know Caltrans. I'm the one that got the whole thing started. I beg your pardon?
We've been talking about this for years.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this, that Caltrans' job is to move traffic through the town. That's their job. And they're going to do it the best way they can do it. Now, be aware that they could, if they want to, cut the road all the way back to every building that goes along the highway. All the overhangs, can't keep them. The building line is their right-of-way line, so that when you come out of the Beulah's or Cowpoke or wherever, you'd be standing on the road. If they want to do that. And we've got to make sure that they understand this is our town and we want to have input. You cannot wait until they get the plans made, drawn, and approved by the engineers in Eureka. We have to be on top of it from the beginning. I know what happened last time. So I would just...
Change yourself to the pear tree.
You'd piss off a rock, wouldn't you? Okay, so anyway, let's get it, as soon as we can get a set of plans, so we can see what their design is from building to building. I understand they want to have a stack lane all the way in the middle for deliveries and that kind of thing. So I don't know that for a fact, but I heard that. So as soon as we can get a plan, get the chairman to get a plan, even if it's a preliminary plan, so that we can make comments. Thank you.
Exactly. I agree. So in regard, yeah, you can make a comment. And you can
It's all
comment.
your fault.
Charlie, you can comment from there.
I know, I hate it over there.
Oh, sorry.
I'd rather be out here. No. Is there a document that goes over everything, the Middletown plan for the past, present, and future? Is there a one single document, or is this something that we're just evolving? Because the last 10 years, I've kind of looked for it. I just Googled over there, Middletown plan, can't find none. What is it, and is it a liquid or is it a solid, and can I print it out and can I look at it?
Yes, the Middletown area plan is online.
Okay.
So I can go over that with you offline. I mean, it's on the county website. I can't tell you right here
Yeah,
how
I put
to.
Middletown plan in there and it came up April 10th. I don't know what that means. Area plan. Yeah. So you got to say the word area plan.
Middletown area plan.
Okay, good.
So I think under.
You have to get the general plan and then find the connection to the area plan.
Yeah.
You may have to go to the
Yes.
general plan.
Because I think we should
Or I
designate
can
one time a year and look at what our accomplishments are and what our failures are and what we can do better the next year. And,
I have been
like a checklist or something.
I have been asking for that since February, but we're bogged down in bylaws and elections and other things that we haven't been able to get to discuss the Middletown area plan. But we're running out of time on that, and I would very much like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to play baseball and see what our batting average is, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty low.
Yes. Okay.
So you control the agenda.
Okay, so let me share with you again. Izzy from Caltrans contacted me today and said that they would like to. They are at the stage. They are hoping to come in June, but they could even come in July or August. So if that works better, but they are not sure that they want to be part of the math meeting. So and part of it is because of all this, because they really want the topic, they want time with the community to really focus on the topic of their planned improvements and what the community comments on those planned improvements. So yes, so that's what I suggested to him, is that we could call a special meeting where that's the only topic on the agenda. Again, as I pointed out to him, that if we use this room and we do it on a Thursday, we know that we have, and thank you very much, Thomas, for being here from PEG TV. So, because again, it would be really good to have this recorded for other people, for not only whoever's here in person, but also after this meeting to be able to take a look at that recording. So I've encouraged them to plan it for a Thursday where we could, basically we could put aside our agenda and just say that that's the only topic, agree that that's the only topic that we're going to talk about. And or we could do it at a different day of the week, which currently I advised to him that Monday might be a good day, and that was only, I was drifting through the calendar looking at that no other, or it seems like Monday's a good day, that there's no conflicts with other organizations in Middletown holding meetings on that day. But anyway, so that's what I threw out to him at this point in time.
If you do on a Monday, they would have to be the first or very last Monday of the month. Thursday. Because we're at other municipal.
Right, that's what I figured, yeah. So.
I'll volunteer to help with flyers. We ought to get it out to everybody in the community.
And that's the other point that I made to him. I said at minimum, we want to make sure that we give plenty of time to promote this at least a month out. Yeah. So that we get high involvement and get as many people from the community here talking about that as possible.
And could I add the letters just for your guys' community? All of District 1 should be involved.
Oh, absolutely. That's the community.
Yes.
Well, all of District 1 would include
Lower Lake?
Yeah. All
So.
All your constituents in this district.
I missed who was coming from.
Caltrans. With an update, except their update will primarily be on the improvements that they would be making south of town, here in Middletown, and just north of town. So, so it probably wouldn't stretch as far as to Lower Lake, but definitely we could invite Lower Lake or inform them as well. So Highway 29 does affect all of us. Yes, Supervisor Owen.
We have to recognize her.
Okay, Helen Owen. Hey, I hope I got distracted. The Glen March coming for the county roads, are we going into that, or do you want me to mention it?
Oh, well, we could, right? I have that on my notes here.
Okay, good. Then I won't bother.
Stay there in case you have any comments, okay? So the other thing in regard to roads is I did also get an email from Glen March from Public Works, and he would like to come, and this has to go with what Tara was saying about when we had John Spica here making the presentation from APC. What does AP stand? Area Planning, whatever. So, but where he came and gave us a presentation that they're planning for the future for road improvements, and so that's what's on the QR code in the back. We really would like to encourage everybody to take that survey and put down your thoughts. But what Glen March wants to do, he wants to come here and speak to us also from the viewpoint of helping us to understand how to turn common concerns into projects. So, and part of that is, unfortunately for our roads, as Helen mentioned before, so much of it relies on grant money. There just aren't enough funds from gas taxes to cover the expense of our road improvements. So for Glenn March's department, he relies a lot on grant funds, which relies completely on our input on things like the APC survey. Do you want to add?
Yes. He wants to also know if you guys can help us gather up the information on your roads, what needs attention, what needs TLC, what the issues are here. We need to have that list. So I'm going to rely, I've been going out driving roads and marking them down and marking down how far it is. But I know, for instance, I'm not an engineer. I don't quite understand. I know that there's some major issues, for instance, on Socrates, but I don't understand exactly what all the issues are other than what I can see, which is potholes. But there's other issues.
Sinking.
That's right. And some of them, the culverts,
Ditches, culverts were damaged.
drainage, a lot of them are drainage. But marking that stuff down would help me. And we want to bring that. And if you guys want to give it to me, or you can do it by an email and let me know, along with some pictures. I've seen culverts completely rotted out. And I know a lot of it is drainage, a lot of it, so I need that information so we can put those roads on the to-do list, please. Anything else? Thank you.
Okay, any other comments on that?
I was just going to make a quick comment that it covers more than just roads. It's all types of transportation things, so including, biking lanes and sidewalks and even things like missing stop signs, just literally everything that has to do with transportation.
Thank you. Yes.
Just a question. Justin Bain from Middletown. I live past the St. Helena Creek Bridge off Boardlaw, and there's been rumors or talk going about replacing that bridge, and I just wanted to know maybe more clarification on that, because the access to that would be, it's a very old bridge, are they going to keep it, or are they going to add a new bridge or tear that down and replace it? And then how would we get back and forth from our home and whatnot?
Right.
Along with all our other neighbors and whatnot.
Thank you. Yeah, if you have an answer.
I have some. That is meant to be replaced. It's in poor shape. What I actually forgot to bring up tonight that I wanted to bring up was the plaque. Currently, they're looking at, I can't remember what company it is, but some historic company wants to do a new plaque. I would prefer, and we want the old plaque. And I also asked if a piece of that rock bridge that's so beautiful, I think that bridge was made in 1908, and have it beside it somehow. So we need to also be thinking about that for a future agenda, if you don't mind, Miss Monica. As far as the dedication or the plaque, I would like to keep a piece of that beautiful rock work with it if possible, and I would like to keep the old plaque. So, but that's not what they're planning on doing at this time. They plan on putting a new plaque there and a new bridge.
Is that Public Works?
Yes. Yeah. Glenn March.
Yeah, and
he will be the one coming here.
That's the guy we want to talk to.
Yeah.
That's the one that will be coming here. We've arranged for him to come and talk, and I've been trying to get our roads on the to-do list. And it's not just me, it's throughout Lake County. So this is for the unincorporated areas of Lake County that we need some TLC. So, okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Okay. So with that, the next item on the agenda is change the time of the meeting. Or end by 8:30. We are at 8:53.
Mission impossible.
And we do need to work harder to finish earlier. So, and part of that's my problem.
It doesn't matter. There's always going to be a replacement.
Yes.
There's always going to be a...
So then the other thing is, and I'm just going to put this off for another meeting, but I think we do need to discuss a Firewise community and what we can do. I don't know about any of you all, but I know myself and many others are getting hit with no insurance, and that little certificate does help a little teeny bit, but but it also would help our community as a whole. So, so anyway, I would like to think about that or talk a little bit more about that on a future agenda. So with that, future agenda items.
$5,000 a year. $5,000 a year.
With future agenda items for the May meeting, we'll have Glenn March here from Public Works. We may have some other projects on the agenda, and I would entertain any ideas from anybody in the audience of anything that you feel like we need to have on the agenda as well for May.
I would suggest that the chairperson control the agenda so that we can get out of here at 8:30. You know, if we have to get out of here at 8:15 because we're done, there are worse things.
So as PEG TV, because I have to be the one here who is the latest, okay? I have been doing your meetings for almost a year and a half. I've wrote down on the calendar how many times you guys haven't, only twice since I've been here have you guys ended your meeting just over, and I'm talking 10, 15 minutes, but you guys have not, in over a year and a half, ended your meetings on time. And so it is my request, I brought it to her, if you guys would just start your meetings at 6:30 so that I could get home and in bed by 11 o'clock. I'm going to be close to midnight, quarter after midnight by the time I get home tonight.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Madam Chairman, I'm really opposed to changing the time. We just have to control the meeting and stop at 8:30.
Yes, okay.
And that's easily
Will do.
done by a motion.
I will do that. So if I cut you off, if I cut somebody else off, if I cut you off, Fletcher, if I ask you not to come up to the mic again, please be kind to me. No, I appreciate that. We will work at ending at 8:30.
Okay, I got one constructive alibi. I promise I forgot to bring this up earlier because we were so busy with everything else. I have a meeting with Mike Thompson on the 16th. If there's anybody you know with veterans issues, you can communicate with the Secretary of Math. I'll take them to Mike Thompson and I'll try to get them resolved that day. So just give me anything you got, all right? All right.
Thank you. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to, thank you.
I wanted to make 2 comments.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Second.
Make them fast.
I just want to remind everybody tomorrow night, farmer's market, but also can everybody pick their chair up? If it's a folding chair, it goes back against the wall. If it's a stand-up chair, it comes up here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for being here.